I'm Ayrton Cable, I'm 16, and I'm one of the teen innovators. Today at 2:30 we have the Getting to Zero Hunger panel. And actually this is great news that we're able to talk about this in the first place, as now with our current technical skills, logistical abilities, and just the ability to finance projects like these, we're now more in reach of being able to achieve this goal than we ever have in our past. However, that's not to say that we're anywhere near being able to achieve it, as 1 in 8 people still go to bed hungry every day, despite there being more than enough food to feed everyone. And I actually saw this firsthand when I was 10 years old, and I went to Malawi. I met a boy my age, Mapangano, where I had 3 meals a day. He had only 1 meal a day at most, and had to walk 5 miles to school every day on an empty stomach. And clearly this hunger in general is something that needs to be solved worldwide, causing suffering. So thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Ayrton was the first seed of inspiration for Marco Gualtieri. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th edition of Seeds and Chips. Unfortunately, Alec Baldwin had an emergency and cannot be with us today, but let's allow his message to inspire us. We have a rich calendar of talks and events over the next 4 days that explore the intricacies and the opportunities of the vast food system so that we can foster collaboration, which is really the only instrument, but so generous, that we have to bring innovation forward. We have created a batch of numbers that will set the pace for the speakers and also allow you to understand how many seeds there are for you to sow. And just to give you a sense of scale, the agro-food is a $7.8 trillion industry, and it employs 40% of the world population. The need for system thinking and innovation at all levels is greater than ever. And that's why we're here. Marco Gualtieri had vision when he founded Seeds and Chips in 2015. So please help me welcome him to the stage.
Good morning. Buongiorno. Welcome. Benvenuti. Bienvenue. 5th edition, yeah.
Yes.
Seems like yesterday, you know?
But so much is happening. It really is very, very exciting. As you know, I'm obsessed with future-proof development, and this is a place to really harness so much knowledge. So you have a fisheye view on the sector, and also you have a big perspective on the world. So how many countries do we have?
We have represented here 49 countries, and so thank you. We are people from all over the world, but I cannot mention everybody. I would like just to make 2 special mentions. One is for the state of Australia, where we'll be there in September, and the continent, Africa. Africa for us is our main guest. So we have many states represented from Africa. We will talk later about Africa. We will talk for all the days. We will make some announcement, and we are very happy, and we give a very warm welcome to all the people that are coming from this huge and amazing continent.
Yes, we have really a host of solutions, speakers, really high impact opportunities. Now, speaking of opportunities, what is your perspective on this industry?
So we talked this morning with using the numbers, very important. We have many numbers. We don't know. We don't want to bore you with numbers, but are very, very important numbers. So in the food tech and agri-tech arena, as is called by investors, we can see that last year, 2018, we reached $16.9 billion in investments, and is a 43% of increase. But as I used to say, we are just at the beginning of a new era. A lot of opportunities in this industry. If we take a look on China, China reached $3.52 billion in 2018. That is an increase of almost 100%, 95% exactly. So China just entered into the arena. And I want to use this opportunity to make a huge clap to one of our friends, we call Seeds&Chips family. Is Beyond Meat. The founder of Beyond Meat was with us last year, and this year Professor Puglisi will join us in the afternoon. And Beyond Meat went on the stock market last Wednesday, and it reached $3.8 billion in market capitalization. This is what we are talking about. We are looking for a lot of these companies that can grow, create a change, and a lot of opportunities for all the shareholders and, we say, stakeholders.
And what's so interesting is really how seeds and chips come together, because we have the down-to-earth, grounded traditions that need to come back, and we will see how many there are and how impactful they are. And on the other hand, we have high tech, which is really breaking new boundaries. So, Marco, there's a tradition here at Seeds&Chips.
Yeah, we have few traditions, but this is for me the most important because we used to say that young people lead the event. So we are not just talking about the future. We cannot talk about the future without having young people involved, without giving them the voice, giving them a leading role. So if you agree with me, I would like to invite these guys to join us on the stage.
Absolutely. So working
Where are
with
them?
them and for them. I'm a mama. This makes me cry. This is really amazing. They do have a good innate sense of pace.
Yeah,
don't they?
we have heard Ayrton. As you said, Ayrton inspired me with our guys 3 years ago. I understood that this generation, the Generation Z, is making something different we have never seen before. So we want to give them the voice, we want to listen to them, and we are very proud. We hope we can inspire. And in the last months, we have seen something around the world. This generation is saying us something, and we want to get everything it's coming from them.
And in fact,
Girati di là,
we
che
have
ti vogliono vedere quanto sei bello.
we have a surprise for you, because we will actually be flipping the equation later on. Okay, so as you know, we look at these kids and we really, hopefully, feel our sense of responsibility and inspiration grow. I would like you to look at this map with me for a moment, because you've all heard of the Earth Overshoot Day. It's that date in our calendar where we have surpassed nature's capacity to regenerate. Well, in 2018, it was in August 1st. So that means the last quarter, we were in debt with nature. And if you know, it's quite intuitive, right? We have all this red, and that's where we have surpassed our, where our footprint has just become unsustainable. So we're here to make that map turn green. Okay. So, do you know that if food waste and cattle were a nation, they would be the third emitters of greenhouse gases after US and China? Now, on a good note, and that's going to be the constant here at Seeds&Chips, there really are more and more actors from all areas that are coming on board and adopting sustainable practices. So in Italy alone, sustainable development is expected to create 3 million jobs.
3 million jobs in Italy alone. What are we talking about?
Let's get to work.
But if we take a view and a global vision on the goals, and I'm happy and proud to give birth to a new Seeds&Chips sister company. It's called Sustain and Ability. You will enjoy with goals on tour, the containers. So this company will be focused to develop, to accelerate, and to put ground the 17 goals of United Nations. They belongs to us, but the good news in terms of businesses is that they represent a 12 trillion opportunity global just in 4 sectors. The first one is food and agriculture. The second is our cities. The third is energy. And the fourth is health and well-being. So 12 trillion opportunity. It's called the biggest business of opportunity for humanity. So I hope that all of us, we will work, thank you very much, to get this goal, because they are very, very, very important. And they're making the economic price 60% of world economy, bringing 2 to 3 times bigger
economic prize.
So we are talking about challenges. We are talking to fix some issues, but behind these challenges, there are the biggest opportunity of the humanity.
And did you know, Marco, that gender equality, so filling the gender gap alone could bring up to $28 trillion to the global GDP by 2025. So women, get ready to rock this world. Okay, so we need a critical mass of companies, we know that, and already 9,000 have actually undersigned the, what is it called? It's the...
They joined the SDGs.
They've joined, exactly.
9,000 companies
have
worldwide.
joined the SDGs, and so...
It's a good number, but it's not enough.
Absolutely, it's not enough. Now, there's a woman in this room who has been supporting you from the start. And she's a big advocate of human rights and sustainable development. Carrie Kennedy, please come to the stage. Wonderful to see you.
Please.
Okay, you take center stage. Now, do you think that 9,000 companies worldwide signing the UN Global Compact is enough?
No, absolutely not. We need everyone. We need every company, every child, every adult. All of us need to sign on and get involved and create change on the SDGs.
Okay, so let's just, what's important, I think, always to say when one's at great events like this is we need to keep the momentum when we leave here, okay? Now, I would like you to stay with us for one moment because I would like to share an incredible tool of knowledge, information that I discovered that, of course, you are on board with, and it's Drawdown. Because the American ecologist Paul Hawken has compiled a book called Drawdown, which indicates the 100 solutions that together could mitigate climate change. That's huge. We have this document out there, and it measures every single solution, both by impact on the environment in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, and also money saved and invested. So to give you an idea, I don't know about you, but thinking in gigatons is a bit difficult. It's kind of like petabytes, terabytes, those big numbers that we really have a hard time digesting. But he's given us a good cue. So look at the screen and get a sense of what we're talking about when we mention gigatons. Now, what was your experience? Did you actually have meetings with the Drawdown group?
Yes, absolutely. And I was actually just with Paul Hawken last week in California. And, you know, this book lays out the solution.
It really does.
And it shows us that that it's within our reach.
Yes.
You know, we can create change. We can stop global warming. And the really interesting thing is that of the 100 solutions, 7 of the top 10 are in the food industry. And that's why what Marco has done here at Seeds and Chips is so important. And what all of us are doing here today, and all of you are doing here today, is so important, because resolving the future of food is what's going to save our planet.
Absolutely, and it's so intertwined, and that's what we're here for 4 days. Now, both of you are invited to choose your SDG, the one that you commit to really bringing forth and making it happen, reaching the goal.
Well, the most important one to me is SDG 16, and that's the one that's peace, justice, and
that's
human
your
rights.
Gong, okay? Right? Yep, fantastic.
Can I get all the 17?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I choose the last one, the 17, because this is a part of a Seeds and Chips DNA, collaboration. We have to change our mindset. We have to collaborate all together. Young people with old people, politics with entrepreneurs, everybody. Collaboration, the 17th goal is important, so I get that one.
Okay, can I have one too?
Yes, it's yours.
So I'm a hog a bit too, you know, I kind of like the one for all. So my one for all is number 3, health and well-being for all, because I figure if we sort all those other things out, right, then we'll obviously be healthy and well. So Marco, there is another tradition here at Seeds and Chips, which not only involves the kids.
We like to talk, we like to be inspired by people, speakers, and young people, but most important, we want to ground solution. We don't just want to talk. So we have the tradition is that we sit down representing the grounding of solutions and staying at the same level with these amazing guys. So if you don't mind, we leave you. Do you join me to sit?
Fantastic.
And we can sit here. Where do you prefer?
Okay, choose your pillows. Not that you have much choice. Oh, no, you do have some choice. Okay, I will put this here. Now, the biggest surprise from Drawdown, I don't know if, Carrie, you were as surprised as me, is that the first impactful, in a negative sense, activity, human activity, and which also becomes the first solution when managed correctly, is refrigeration. Now, it's kind of ironic that to make our things and our places cooler, we're actually warming the planet. But HFCs replaced CFCs and HCFCs to protect the ozone layer. Nobody ever could conceive that HFCs can warm the planet up to 9,000 times more than CO2. So this year, Seeds and Chips focuses on Africa, and there's very good news because, again, I have to admit that as much as I always try and stay on top of important news, I was not aware of the Kigali Accord. In October 2016, 197 nations agreed to phase off HFCs. That's huge. And it's already started, the countdown has already started for us, developed countries, and it will go through for the next years. Now, it's mandatory, unlike the COP agreements. And these chemicals can be purified, actually. So we need to spread awareness on this. Meanwhile, what we can do is use refrigeration more wisely in our homes. And every visitor here should actually go to Think, where many, many opportunities will arise in terms of, you know, solving important issues. Now, Marco, I think I'm going to have to make you exercise a bit, but I can give you a hand because I have a question for you.
Jim,
Okay.
I need it.
The Seeds and Chips has become an ecosystem where diversity fosters opportunity. And as I said, we mentioned Africa, a continent that we rely on for so many raw goods, so many food staples that we adore, perennial crops. And yet, have we taken enough responsibility for this? And more than anything, have we empowered Africans to really take charge of, their opportunities? You have something great happening here, which I vaguely mentioned, and you can explain a bit better.
Yeah, it's very easy, it's very simple. We cannot talk about the future of food if we don't have Africa seated at the main table. We cannot talk about the sustainability and SDGs if Africa is not playing a role. So since the beginning, when after the first Seeds and Chips edition, one of my friends, now is part of the Africa team, said you have to bring Seeds and Chips in Africa. And that was my goal, but we were not ready at that time. So starting a few months ago, we decided now it's time also for us to do something in Africa. And we have a project we will present today. We will present in these days. I hope you will join us. It's called Think, and we should have
a video.
A video.
The world is changing faster than we think. A paradigm shift is required. Africa can lead the way. Soil, water, biodiversity, energy, technology, the youngest population on Earth, and it's growing. Our biggest challenge is our greatest opportunity. Imagine the power of over 1 billion human beings committed to innovation and creating a better food system for all. Together, we believe that a new renaissance is possible. We call it Think, Food Innovation Hub Network. One vision to guide collective action for Africa. Starting with 10 food innovation hubs, interconnected and open to the world. To help lead the next generation of entrepreneurs, pioneers, and citizens into a new sustainable era. Seeds of a new world. Think about it. Think big. Think different. Think.
Think in Think. Now, we have a guest who has had a lot of impact in the betterment of his society and in scaling solutions. Please help me welcome to the stage Mr. Donald Kaberuka. So, Mr. Kaberuka, what are your priorities moving forward? You have achieved so much, and there is a lot to learn about you, but what can we learn now about where you're heading?
Thank you. First of all, to thank you, and thank the organizers for what you do, for what you have done over 5 years.
Why don't we come over here so the kids can also...
And for making Africa a priority. What is my priority? I just look around me, these people here. For every African country you think of, the population has increased 5 times in the last 30 years. Put it another way. A country which had 10 million people in 1988 now has 50 million people. And 60% of them are this generation. And so that, for me, is my priority.
Wonderful opportunity.
I have full belief in science and technology to provide solutions, but I have less belief in humanity's ability to think big around inequality, around climate change. Those are things which concern me.
So we look forward to seeing, with your track record of success, how you are going to be able to harness this incredible intelligence and youthful energy that you have in Africa. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
And
SDG.
again, I think you're seeing on the screen, or if you don't look at your schedules, there will be many opportunities to obviously investigate and in depth and learn from all our wonderful speakers. Forgot to ask you, thank you for the gong, what SDG would you like to associate to the work that you're doing?
Exactly what I've just said. It will be number 4.
Fantastic.
And number 4 is about ensuring that all these kids here, all over the world, by the way, not simply in Africa, both boys and girls, have accessible free education by 2030. By 2030. And thereafter, that many of them can have the skills they need, the opportunities to be able to expand their possibilities. So for me, number 4 comes first.
Fantastic. Thank you. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You stay with us. There. Okay. Yeah. There. Yeah.
Sorry. It's a bit of an
Yeah,
obstacle course.
It's,
So one harsh reality we know far too well is food hunger, right? 800 million people worldwide are hungry, yet 1/3 of the food that we produce doesn't make it from farm or factory to fork. So we're caught in this big gap. And consciousness is necessary to scale really solutions, because food wasted is harmful not only morally, not only is it a tragic reality, but it's also very harmful to the environment. It emits CO2s even when it decomposes. Now, the SDG goals, really reducing 1.3 billion tons, the fact that, zero hunger is, of course, a priority, but how many other SDG goals are addressed if we reduce food waste? We have now a start-upper who can give us a different perspective. Dilamont, please come to the stage. Welcome. Hi. So we look forward to hearing, in essence, about your experience with food waste.
Yeah, so as I'm sure everyone knows, about 40% of the food produced goes to waste, ends up in landfill. And about 6 billion tons of that in the US is made up of the byproducts of food manufacturing. So Renewal Mill, who I work for, we kind of come in at that level. So we upcycle those byproducts. Often byproducts are really highly nutritious because we tend to process fiber out of our food. So Renewal Mill's first commercially available ingredient is okara. So it's the byproduct of soy milk and tofu production. So it's the pulp of the bean, the soybean. So we are partnered with the largest producer of organic tofu in the US. So we harvest their okara, dry it out, and mill it, and it forms a really high fiber, high protein flour. So we are currently selling that in B2B and B2C formats. And we also produced a vegan soft-baked chocolate chip cookie as a proof of concept, and it turned out people really like them. So we also sell those in food service and retail, and they're delicious, and I have them at my stand.
And we will all come and taste them.
Yes,
Thank you
please
so
do.
much for the inspiration. What is your SDG goal?
I think I'm going to say 2.
Okay.
Zero hunger.
Thank you.
All right, thank
you
you.
very much, Steve. Okay, now we are going to move into the wonderful world of plants because, again, a plant-rich diet has enormous benefits, not only for us, but for the planet. And so while there are 30,000 edible plants, humans have been eating 7,000 of them since the dawn of time, 150 are farmed, we rely on 4 staples. And we all know which they are. So, I mean, how come, we don't really put to work all this incredible knowledge we have? The Italian neurobiologist, who's really a rock star in our country and in the world, has proven, finally, that plants are intelligent. And he's curated the nation of plants at Broken Nature at the Triennale di Milano, which you can have a taste of here at Seeds and Chips. And he's even written a Declaration of Rights, which I would love to tell you about. We don't really have the time, but it goes from the fact that animal sovereignty is not part of the plant, the nation of plants, and there's equal rights for everyone, and it's forbidden to use resources that are not renewable to favor the well-being of the future generations. Now, while we rely on few annual crops, perennials are an incredible solution. They they come back year after year, and so they actually keep the soil intact. And there are efforts in the world to create perennial crops that can replace some annuals. Kurzna, for example, is one effort to look out for, and it could hopefully replace annual wheat. Now that we can probe the land and the sea and explore the DNA, there's so much to learn about. I will briefly just share the name of a seaweed that you should explore called Asparagopsis taxiformis. Ruminants love it, and it actually reduces the methane emissions drastically. Farming it could also help oceans sequester CO2s. Now, we have someone in this room who has a lot of fascinating facts. He will give us a taste of them now. He heads the Center for Complex Networks Research. Please help me welcome Professor Laszlo Barabasi. So the stage is yours. Run your fantastic facts.
Ooh, I didn't know I'm supposed to actually give the numbers right away, but indeed, I'm a network scientist who recently became very interested in how the food affects the networks within our cells. And it was that realization that made me understand that we tend to focus on nutritional molecules, which are about 150, 180. These are the molecules that we need for our health. We cannot survive without them. These are the fats, sugars, and so on. But the food really has about 28,000 molecules in it. And the challenge for us is that most of the health effect of the foods are really coming from these, what we call the dark matter of nutrition. Why is it dark matter? Because we don't track it. We don't know what food has what, and we don't fully understand how it affects our health. So I guess I'm going to have a chance to talk about a little bit more details, numbers, lots more numbers this afternoon.
Absolutely, and everyone is invited to listen. Now, just out of curiosity, because dark matter is good news, right?
It is good news if we see it, but when I call it dark, means we're not seeing it, we're not noticing it. And the problem is that many of the health benefits are coming from that. So we as a society have a responsibility to start tracking it and understand which of them are very good for us. These are like polyphenols. We know they're very, very healthy for us, yet they are not systematically tracked by the food industry, so you don't know what is really the one that benefits your health.
Fantastic. Well, polyphenols, I'm a big fan of polyphenols. Olive oil can be very rich in them, right?
That's
correct.
Okay,
I can't do this. I'm sorry. I would talk to you for hours. I have to let you go now, but definitely don't miss the talk this afternoon. Thank you very much. No. Sorry. Your SDG.
I guess number 3, obviously.
Okay.
Health.
Good, same as me. Okay. Now, the World Health Organization says that we can get about 10 to 15, we only need, about 10 to 15% of protein in our diet, so plant-rich diets can actually achieve that. But meat lovers, don't worry. If we reduce our meat consumption to, let's say, a couple of times a week, we would be helping mitigate climate change in a big way. And there's many regenerative agricultural practices, such, for example, as silver pasture, that make cattle and livestock from the biggest problem when they're in their bins, in their locks, to actually a very interesting solution. We've heard about meat surrogates, so we're not saying that the whole world has to become vegetarian or vegan, but we do have to pay attention to this. What's interesting in these areas, a lot of regenerative agricultural practices, is that there's less scientific data. In fact, even what Professor Barabazi was telling us is that there's a lot of knowledge that's not out there yet. So it's experience that really, through social networks, can help scale solutions. And in order to honor the delicate balance of our ecosystems, of course, we cannot forget about biodiversity. We have a woman who's high impact. She has raised a lot of awareness and informed people all over the world. So help me welcome Danielle Nierenberg to the stage. Welcome, Danielle. Give us a taste of your fantastic knowledge and experience.
Well, first, I'm so happy to be here, so thank you for having me. I think biodiversity is something that we forget about. It's really what nourishes us every day, and one of the greatest parts of my job has been being able to really highlight the leaders who are helping protect biodiversity around the world. And we've talked a lot about sub-Saharan Africa this morning, and one of my favorite leaders in biodiversity is Eddie Mukibi, the vice president of Slow Food International. And when I first met him in his late teens, he was really helping students and farmers of all ages really understand why orphan crops or forgotten crops are really the lifeblood of their nations, and that they need more respect and to be cultivated and really help instill a sense of national pride.
Fantastic. Your SDG goal?
I would say my SDG goal, I don't know what you put up for me, is 15.
It's the one you chose.
Life on land.
Live on, exactly. Fantastic. And so please make sure you don't miss listening to the in-depth conversations that all these wonderful speakers deserve later on today, tomorrow. Not sure when you're on, but you're on.
All day. Thank you.
All day. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, we have an entrepreneur in this room also who has been committed to sustainable development. Really, it's in his DNA. It goes back generations, and he would like to share with us a seed of a new project. Please help me welcome Andrea Illi. Welcome, Andrea. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Wonderful to have you here.
It's a great pleasure. So you want me to...
Yeah, I would like you to give us a taste of
story.
your new project.
I had the enormous privilege in 2015 to be partner both with the International Coffee Organization and with Illy Cafe of the Expo. And we developed the 3 virtues of coffee, which are pleasure, health, and sustainability. And with that, we wrote a document, which is the Milan Coffee Legacy, which is now an official document at the United Nations, committing to nurture the virtuous cycle, which combines the well-being that coffee delivers to those who drink it, together with the development for those who produce it, which are 25 million people
Yeah.
in poor countries, right? So we started with a big project, which is now being finalized, which is called CGAP, Coffee Global Adaptation Plan, adaptation to climate change, because the threat which is threatening coffee sustainability is climate change. So this CGAP is about finding way to finance projects in rural communities in developing countries by providing collaterals and so on. This is necessary. And now, climate change is a disaster. We have to be aware about how irreversible it is and how devastating it is.
And you have certainly made it
I
into
wonder
an
if
opportunity.
how many people in the room are aware that in order to reach the Paris goals, we will need to have the entire world to be carbon negative
Yep.
in the next 50 years.
Yep.
So priority number one is decarbonization. It's not only about adapting to climate change, but to mitigate.
Keeping the carbon in the soil where
Exactly.
it belongs.
Who has to do it?
All of us.
Corporations.
Yes.
Because 2/3 of the economy is business.
Absolutely.
So if we want to change the society, we have to do it. So I want my company to be carbon free when we will celebrate our 100th anniversary in 2033. So I took a sabbatical in order to develop a strategy, which needs to be circular, from soil back to soil. So the good news, you've heard about regenerative, but it needs to be healthy as well.
Absolutely.
So tomorrow I will talk about virtuous agriculture, which has to be regenerative for the environment and beneficial for health. And in order to hyper-simplify, I'll give you an example. It's about the 2 C's are carbon emission, contaminants, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. Coffee has none of them. Virtuous.
Fantastic. Well, we love your coffee anyway. What is your SDG?
My SDG is life on land, not surprisingly.
Of course. We look forward to hearing more about your virtuous agriculture, and thank you very much. Sabbaticals are good for people. We should take more of them. Okay. Okay, so I will now swiftly move to Italian, because I would like to welcome the president of our region, Lombardia, Attilio Fontana. Benvenuto. Benvenuto, Presidente. Benvenuto. Allora, lei ha nel suo DNA, la Lombardia e Milano hanno nel DNA l'eredità di Expo, e la sua presenza qui ci dimostra chiaramente che ha un forte interesse per i giovani e per l'innovazione, in perfetta sintonia con i valori e con l'esperienza di Seeds&Chips. Allora, lei ha un progetto di cui vorremmo sentirne almeno un assaggio per rivitalizzare l'agricoltura montana. Ci racconti?
Buongiorno a tutti. Sì, innanzitutto bisogna dire una piccola cosa, che la Regione Lombardia, non tutti lo sanno, è anche la principale regione agricola del nostro paese.
Certo.
Ma credo che quello a cui lei faceva riferimento sia molto importante, perché noi con il rilancio dell'agricoltura di montagna vogliamo perseguire una serie di benefici, un beneficio economico, dare a tanti giovani la possibilità di dedicarsi ad un lavoro bello, ma anche una finalità di carattere conservativo dei territori, perché molte volte le aree di montagna vengono abbandonate e creano poi dei disastri a valle. Ecco, io credo che mettere insieme la sostenibilità, mettere insieme la produzione compatibile siano elementi fondamentali. Tra le altre cose, i prodotti di montagna sono prodotti di particolare qualità, di particolare specificità, e che quindi contribuiscono a mantenere quelle diversità che sono uno dei patrimoni della nostra nazione.
Assolutamente, grazie mille. Anche a lei chiediamo di scegliere uno dei 17 goal di sviluppo sostenibile delle
A questo
Nazioni
punto, 11.
Fantastico. Grazie. Arrivederla.
Sì.
Sì, è una piccola gincana, ma ok, lascio. Can I leave this with you? Ok, siamo tutti qua, yes. I'm going to have to wrap up quickly. Basically, yes, we know that how can the world be fed if the soil isn't fed? Carbon needs to stay in the ground. Unfortunately, there's too much in the oceans. So we need to be really, our life, I think, is a big balancing act, maybe more now than ever. We know so much. So how are we going to turn what we know into, and how are we going to turn information into knowledge and experience? There's wonderful opportunities to seize here, so thank you very much. Stay with us because we have a fantastic surprise for you in a few minutes. But meanwhile, let's have our photo moment.
Sit with us.
Oops,
We
off
take a
the pillar.
picture. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, the
You
adults...
guys stay here.
Yes,
and
the
we go to
kids...
sit.
Kids stay on, adults go, and go enjoy a moment, which I will... Sorry, I have to get to this. Okay.
Thank you.
Now let's get ready to rock. Do not leave the room, because we have an incredible talent who is about to come on stage. Help me welcome Rocky Downey. So Rocky represents everything that Seeds and Chips loves. We need creativity, we need music, we need art to help us bring these things down, bring them, and in fact, love them, right? Because if we don't love them, how are we going to do them? He's a total star. Not only has he been named one of the top African stars in the world, he has shared the stage with legends such as Peter Gabriel and Stevie Wonder. He is a UN Goodwill Ambassador and also a Foundation Ambassador for the Clean Cooking Alliance, okay? So before you get us to rock, and I would like everyone to stand up and shake it up, what is your SDG goal? Kids, you too, you can get up and dance.
Well, my goal is partnerships, because I feel that regardless of what initiatives that we have, cultural diversities, innovation, if we don't partner with each other, we can realize ultimately the goal and the vision. So for me, as an artist, I'm the connector.
And your
make it all
Afro
happen.
roots really
Yes.
does connect generations and cultures. So let's breathe the same air and let's shake it up. The stage is yours.
All right.
Kids,
How are you all
balliamo
feeling?
tutti. Good!
Are you all ready?
No, alzatevi, dai, dai.
Can I ask all of
dai,
us
dai,
to
dai,
stand
dai.
up right now? Whoa. Rock your soul. Let me hear you sing it. So superstar. Baby, you know all I wanna do is rock your soul. Together we will build a community with love and harmony, away from the pettiness of jealousy. Yeah, and love will lead us every way, for one day all will fade away. We do that right, we should be okay. So I'll sing, baby, you know one day you're gonna be a star. Baby, you know all I wanna do is rock your soul. They will claim I'm a so far a superstar. Baby, you know all I wanna do is rock your soul. For time will reveal every hidden character. In the end, none of that will matter. Following the words of the Holy Master. When we are true, girl, breaks us through, girl. It takes two, girl. Me and you, yeah. Baby, you know one day you're gonna be a star. Baby, you know all I wanna do is rock your soul. They will still claim I'm a so far a superstar. Baby, you know all I wanna do is rock your soul. So rock your soul. So rock. Let me hear you say it, people, now. So rock. I wanna rock you so. Rock yours. Let me hear you now. Rock your soul. Rock your soul. One more time, people. So I wanna rock you so. I wanna rock you so. Rock, I wanna rock you so. Every day and night, I wanna love you so. I wanna rock you so. One more time, let me hear you sing it. Rock. Let me see your hands in the air, people. I wanna rock you so. Thank you very much. God bless you all. I know we can do it. One more song.
Are we sure? Yeah?
Okay, let me hear you. Everybody says, whoa,
Whoa!
I'll say, hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright, so bright. I say, hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright, so bright. Every day, in every way. Oh, I'm gonna let my whole life shine. Come on, people, sing it. Every day, in every way. I'm gonna let my whole life shine. On and on and on and on, for the world to see. Yeah, yeah. Light up the darkness with a positive spirit. Oh, let the sun shine in with a wave of a joyful sound. Whether high or low, I will not be afraid to lift my head up, reach and touch the skies. I'll sing, hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright, so bright. I say, hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright, so bright. Let me hear you sing it. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, I believe we can shine a light so bright. Now we know we can all sing this together right now. I say, hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright. Everybody sing, everybody sing, everybody, let me hear you sing it. Hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright. Let me see your hands in the air, people. Let me see your hands. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Let's sing, hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright. All together now, all together now, all together now, we'll sing, hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright. 1, 2, 3, 4, now, everybody sing it. Hey, I believe we can shine a light so bright. All together now, all together now, one more time, let's sing. I believe. Thank you very much. God bless us all. The future is ours. Let's do it together. Respect to you all. Thank you.